Hello YouTube, it is Championdjk coming at you yet again with another video, and today I have some Inno64, some fire from Inno64. I have grown to really enjoy Inno64 castings, toolings. They just do a really fantastic job on their stuff, and I don't buy a whole ton of them because I really kind of am picky. I really only get like cars and stuff that I really want or can't live without when it comes to Inno. Most in part because their cars are a little bit on the pricey side, I suppose. $20 to $25 a vehicle. So you can see how that would add up with just 3 vehicles that you see in front of you. But, you know, they are worth it, especially if you consider what RLC pieces cost. You know, now those pieces may be considered more collectible. I don't know. But I would imagine these Inno64 are made in somewhat limited quantities. And when they're gone, they're going to be tough to get. Like, so if you do want a particular casting in a particular color, I would say don't sleep on it. You know, try to find some older Innos, and some of them go for a premium. So just keep that in mind as we look at these cars. You know, if you watch my channel, I'm a big fan of a lot of different things. I like Hot Wheels. I like Matchbox. I like true 164 scale stuff. Auto World's like my favorite brand. Mini GT is a close favorite as well. And then I like Tomica Limited Vintage. They're great. I love Inno64. They're also good. I like a lot of stuff. It's just a fact. So when it comes, though, to these particular units that we're about to look at here, I don't think any other company makes them better. These are all brand new toolings, really, from Inno64. I believe they're all brand new. I don't think we've seen a Kenmeri Skyline before. I know we've seen the Hako, the Hakoska. I think this will be the first Liberty Walk 308 that we've seen so far. I think it's the first version of it. At least it definitely came out this year. And I think it's the first time we've seen a Geno's 240 Fair Lady. I think it's the first time we've seen a Geno's one. Now, they did put out the 240Z. I believe it was maybe last year, if not the year before. And great car. And probably the year before. I don't know. Anyway, fantastic model. Just a beautiful model, and I had to get this one in like this maroon brown. It's so cool with the Geno's. So if you're not familiar with that, the Geno's is more of like a rounded nose on the Fair Lady Z, and I typically don't like those. I don't think they look as good as the standard 240, but in this case, I had to get it. I do have a couple other Geno's 240s in my collection. I have one made by Tomica, like the original Tomica, like just a Tomica Basic, and I have one that is a Tomica Premium, or Tomica Limited. Tomica Limited, when they had that line that's defunct. So I've had some Geno's in the collection, but this is by far the best, and just it looks fantastic. I can already tell before we even open it up. Ferrari Liberty Walk, come on. The F40 Liberty Walk that they came out with last year was a banger. This one is not quite as amazing as that one, but it's still very cool. And then, of course, the Kenmeri Skyline. So I think now with this, I think they have the whole Skyline family. And if you read Lamley Group, there's a writer, Will Diecast on there. Inno64 sends him cars. Very jealous of that. Would be super cool if I could get Inno to send me stuff for videos. I know John, Lamley Group, doesn't cover Inno, so maybe I should send them an email and be like, hey, I know you send these to Will for the Lamley blog, but maybe you could send them to me for videos. I know my reach isn't really as crazy as the Lamley reach, but come on. I'm in the Lamley family a bit. Hook me up. I would definitely love it. So, Inno64, quality stuff. This isn't necessarily a love letter to them. I just, every year they come up with at least, 2 or 3, maybe 4 new toolings that I just really like. And these 3 right here, yeah. I already know. Without even opening them, just looking around them, they're going to be good. All right, so the Skyline 2000 GTR KPGC 110. We're going to take a look at this one first. I actually also filmed a video on the Hakoska a while back, and I freaking forgot to post it. So it's still sitting in my unpublished videos. I probably will publish that one, even though it's outdated. But we may have to. All right, so Inno64, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of skimming through this, but we've got packaging. These are licensed. And I think always, for the most part, they are licensed. I doubt this is actually licensed by Ferrari, but it is licensed by LBWK. And that's good enough for, that should be good enough for most. So I'm going to go ahead and come in a nice acrylic case. Pretty good quality. Now, rolling is hit or miss. And in this particular instance, we do not have a roller. We also got a little bit of a flat tire there. Now that will come out eventually, I think, as it like sits for a while. If it sits off of the base, it might not. But yeah, it is a little bit of a flat tire, but it allows it to sit pretty nice. And that's part of why it doesn't really roll. These do have, I believe, a metal base. Ooh, boy, I almost just broke off a mirror. You do have to be careful with these. Maybe this one actually has a plastic base. No, that's metal. It's metal. I had to touch it to my nose. Sometimes it's hard to tell. It's metal. God, I think it's metal. They've been doing metal bases lately, and I believe this is a metal base. They also have some details inside of the wheel. They should have, like, brakes. Or maybe they don't have brakes on this model. Yeah, you can see them right here in the back. It's an interesting look in the front. It looks almost like it's a hollow. Something's going on there. I'm not really sure. But you can see that's usually where the brakes would be on this little piece. Well, anyway, inevitably when I say something's really good, we're going to find a couple of issues. But look at this thing. It is pretty sweet. So they are inserted details for headlights. You got a plate up there. You have these mirrors, which are very, very fragile. They're hard plastic, but they're going to be quite fragile. Look at the nice detail on the back side of this car. Again, inserted detail there. It looks quite good. So very cool. This is probably the least exciting of the three models we're going to look at today, but I think this thing, I mean, is pretty sweet. I'm a big fan of the Hakko and the Kenmeri Skyline. Those are like the two Skylines I really like. I like the vintage look of them. I get more excited about these cars than I do like a R32 or R33, R34. It's definitely more than an R35 for that matter. That's to me the least cool looking one. I love the vintage Skylines. I think they look just very, very cool. Very, very neat. I think this is really nice. So you guys let me know what you think about this one down below. The paint seems to be a very high quality. It looks good. Nice gloss to it. You can see the reflection of my phone right there, and it looks pretty good. The only gripe I guess we're gonna have maybe for some of you would be the rolling, and I think right now it's being hindered by that tire that got kind of flat sitting there, and it's already starting to come around when it's not having, you know, screwed pressure down to the base. It's actually starting to come out a little bit now already. So I think that'll, if you left it not sitting in that same spot for a while and it wasn't, you know, screw pressure down, it'll probably come out eventually. Also, they do put a reflective surface on the back of the mirrors, which is a neat little touch as well. Not a super necessary touch, but it's there. The interior, although you're going to be kind of hard-pressed to really see in there, is actually quite detailed as well. So pretty darn cool. I'm going to try to just fix my lighting here for a second. See if we can get it angled forward maybe a little bit. All right, so see if that looks a little better. Yeah, a little brighter up front there. But yeah, really good looking and really cool model car. The nice thing too is having them in the acrylic display cases. You can just put them right back in the display case when you're done taking pictures or doing whatever you do with them, or admiring the car, looking at it, looking at the details, enjoying it. You can put it back in the case, and they kind of stack up on each other nice. You can store them that way. So I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of not having to. I like taking cars out of the package, but I also like being able to keep the packaging as a storage solution should we need it. So I'm a fan of that. We'll just set that guy up there like that. So far, so good. We'll save this one for last, and we'll go to the other Nissan. We've got the Nissan Fairlady 240 ZG HS 30. Again, from Inno64. They really put themselves, you know, on the map, I think. Like, not that they weren't already, but they really did with that Liberty Walk F40 last year. I think they got a lot more popular because of that, releasing that vehicle. And, you know, some people don't like that car. They think it's you know, it's not licensed by Ferrari. It's not a real Ferrari. It's, you know, someone cut up a Ferrari. Oh my God, you know. I don't know. I could care less. I'm never going to own one. Never going to own a Ferrari. To me, I think that Liberty Walk Ferrari, that body kitted up Ferrari F40 is a work of art. And I guess you either like it or you don't. And that's art for you, right? All right. So, and I'm a fan. I'm actually a fan of Liberty Walk. I actually quite like a lot of the stuff. I think it looks cool. I don't care. I don't care if they're cutting up supercars that I'm never going to own. Big deal. All right. Nissan Fairlady 240 ZG HS30. And again, on this nice looking packaging, we'll go ahead and take the one screw out of the base. Also, if you're going to screw down cars to a base, please only use one screw. When you start using two screws, that becomes super irritating as far as I'm concerned. But let's take a look at the G-nose. So here's the G-nose. It's got that more rounded front end nose. We got a Fairlady Z on the plate. Again, we're going to have a fragile mirror situation up front here that you got to be careful with. Pretty darn good looking detail there. Metal base, metal body, rubber tires. This one rolls. Not Hot Wheels style rolls, but we don't expect that out of a detailed model like this. And I don't know what you could complain about with this one. They really did the Z car nicely. And it apparently is a difficult car to get to look perfect scaled down. It has to be, because no one, aside from Inno64, really ever got it to look this good. Green light. You know, if you've seen the green light one, I wish I had some more to show. Maybe I should do a Nissan Z video. I really should actually do a Nissan Z video to show you all the horrible ones. And I love the car. Hot Wheels did a decent job, but it's way out of scale, right? And then you've got, you know, Tomica Limited Vintage did a Z, but it wasn't the 240. It was like a 280. It's a little bit different looking, but they did a great job on it. Obviously, it's Tomica Limited Vintage we're talking about. So I don't think there's a car they could really butcher. And then Tomica Limited's pretty decent. But yeah, the green light one was terrible. The M2 Machines one was not that bad, but not that great either. But then you got something like this that just, there's really nothing wrong. They just really nailed it. They did a great job on it. And I think it looks really good. So one thing with the G nose too, you got those long light covers on the front, headlight covers. So they have the headlight covers in this, and I know it's hard for you to see, but inside of there, there's also a lensed headlight as well. So they really didn't skimp on the details for this car. I wish, honestly, that I could get every single version of this Z to come out from Inno64, like the Genos, everything, like every single livery, all the stuff. It's one of my favorite cars of all time is the 240Z. And yeah, any of the ones I'm missing, I kind of wish I could go back and get and grab, but sadly, like I said before, like I think the longer you wait, it's not like they're going to get cheaper. They're going to actually probably get more expensive, and they're already, you know, kind of pricey. They're not like super expensive, but they're expensive enough when you like so many things like I do, when you collect a ton of stuff. It's hard to put all your eggs into one basket, and that's why I'm like, well, maybe I should just be happy with a couple examples that I do have. I have a couple examples of this car, of the car in the non-Genos version, and then I also have, of course, now this one. And this color is the color for this car. It's, you know, in my opinion, pretty much perfect. I don't know what else you could do to make that any better. I don't know. Did we show you everything close up? I think we did. Pretty sure we did. This car excites me more than this Liberty Walk Ferrari does, but I'm guessing that for a lot of the people watching, this is probably going to be the one that people are going to get the most excited about, and that's this Liberty Walk 308 GTB. So let's go ahead and get this opened, take a look at it, check it out, and take a look around the package real quick first. Innovative Service and Trading Company, so that's the Inno and the Inno64. Exact scale ornamental model for adult collector, not suitable for children under 14 years of age. That's pretty much what you're going to see on all premium diecasts like this. It typically has a 14 plus on it. So same old, you know, 64 packaging, what we're used to, right? And then a little bit of more flavor here on the actual base. Got like a checkered flag look there, and Liberty Walk logo, some tiling. That's what it looks like on there. So a little bit more intricate detail on the base. And let's go ahead and unscrew it. Every time I open up a Innos, I want to get more of them. This one is... Ooh, so this one's really stuck. It was really stuck on the base, which means the tires are probably going to be a little bit flat. And that's okay, because like I said, you leave them off the base for a while, and they start to get their shape back. I doubt this is going to roll. And it sort of wants to. But to me, it's way more important for these replicas to get the stance correct than it is to actually have them roll. It is a metal base. I can tell already. Painted metal. And yeah, this thing is pretty sick. I mean, it's not as cool as the F40. I will say that. This Liberty Walk 308 came out, or they made this car actually, Liberty Walk did, way before the F40, as I recall. But we get inserted details for taillights, LB Performance on there, 308 GTB. There is a Ferrari logo on this car. There's definitely no Ferrari licensing. I don't know what that is right there. Little weird thing in the paint. You really cannot see it with like the naked eye, but in the camera you can definitely see it. Detailed wheels, detailed everything. I'm trying to be careful with this because I don't want to break off the mirrors. And overall, just a really, really cool car. I may end up picking up. I think I actually pre-ordered one of these from my buddy's SC Diecast. I don't know if they got them in yet. And then I went ahead and bought one off of eBay too. Just because, I don't know. I wanted them as soon as possible. I couldn't wait, so I was impatient here. But I'm going to end up getting the ones that I got. I think I got that one coming too. And I will keep extras of those. I will hoard them away. That's how much I like these cars. That's how much I think that they're cool. I know what you're saying. You know, it's like, well, what would you do that for? Why don't you just buy another version of it so that you have different ones? I don't know, because I'm crazy. This one does have a little nick in the corner right there, that paint right there. So that we could consider a quality issue, because I don't think that happened, obviously, since I took it out of the package. Right there, little chip in the corner. You see that? That looks really ugly up close. Very hard to see in person when you're not looking through the camera like that. But we got to point it out. I'm not going to sugarcoat any quality issues. You know, from watching my channel, I typically do not just blow over quality issues. If I see it, we're going to look at it. It's going to be under the microscope. That's the way it is. When you start taking pictures of cars and stuff and looking at these things up close, honestly, like, none of them are perfect. Like, pretty much ever. If you really looked at a real car up close, I'm guessing that you'd find some sort of issue as well. So it just is what it is. So that's why I don't lose sleep over something like that. But what a cool car. I mean, come on. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about these Innos? Which is your favorite of the three? Honestly, this is mine. I just love it. It's my favorite car, really. I mean, of all time, this is like my favorite car. This and like a minivan. This and like a Chrysler, a Plymouth Voyager. Two favorite cars of all time, right? And then, you know, but no slouch either, right? So, all right. Well, what do you guys think about these Inno64? What do you think about Inno64 as a brand in general? It's always interesting to see what you feel about them and how you think they compare to other premium diecast brands. There's a lot out there, so I'd love to hear your opinions. So that's your assignment for this one. Give me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. What do you think about Inno64 in general, and also what do you think about these three models? If you could have one of the three, which one would you grab? All right. Thank you guys very much for watching another one, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.